Attention exhibitors, our judges on the grounds. Senior showman, in 5 minutes, you're coming to the ring. Senior showman, this is your 5-minute warning. Once again, parents, exhibitors, and guests, please do not stand in the aisles, in the center alleyway coming into the barn, or in the holding pens. We're going to need all the space to move pigs and keep things as cool as possible. We're going to ask you to stand around the ring and not in the holding aisle. Good morning. Welcome to the Shippensburg Community Fair for the 2025 Junior Market Swine Show. We appreciate you coming out today. We're starting our show off this morning with our senior showmen. In the ring, we should have Delana Farmer, Waylon Flasher, Maverick Geddes, Kate Gutchall, Cord Hetrick, Josh Holtree, Lacey Lehman, Maddie Musser, Mitchell Musser, Braden Myers, Jolie Naylor, Cooper Umbrell, and Mason Wickard. Senior showman, if you're not already in the ring, you should be making your way there right now. Senior showmen are in the ring. Our judge for today is Mr. Tyler Huff. Tyler was born and raised on Woodcamp Farm, his family's 100-acre operation in Mount Airy, Maryland. There they specialize in raising Shorthorn and Angus cattle, complemented by the operation of Huff family show pigs, breeding purebred and crossbred pigs. Through the 4-H system, Tyler exhibited cattle and hogs at various levels from county to national competitions. He attended Tryon University in Angola, Indiana, where he earned a bachelor's degree in marketing, and he played ice hockey. After graduation, he returned home, where he now lives with his wife and daughter. Professionally, he serves as the Director of Government Relations at the Maryland Farm Bureau, advocating for agricultural interests. Tyler's been involved in the livestock judging for over 20 years and includes being a member of the Maryland State 4-H team and a top 10 finisher at the Southeastern Regional Contest. Tyler's also the coach for the Howard County 4-H and FFA livestock judging teams. Let's put our hands together and congratulate and welcome Tyler on being here today. Our sponsorship classes today are sponsored by J3 Livestock and Glenn and Cindy Finkenbinder, providing prize packs to all of our age division winners. Let's put our hands together for our sponsors as well. Thank you so much. Intermediate showman, make your way to ringside. Intermediate showman to the horning ring.
Showman to get started here with today. As we kind of short the class, we saw a couple back early, just some changes as far as pace and eye contact, and making sure that they're through the center of the rings, moves those kids up higher. As we talk about the 7-letter lefty here today, it comes down to kind of two-horse race for me. There's two individuals that cover the basics really well as far as that presentation, pace, getting the hogs in the center of the ring, having those 3D views, as I call them, so showing the all angles of the break, and just being smooth about the way they go. For me, as we compare and contrast the two individuals on the top end, it just comes down to a preference, that one has a touch more pace, a touch more speed as they go, which for me, my personal preference, I like to evaluate structure. I want to see these hogs out and going and moving with some pace. This individual just has a touch more pace, which is a little bit more for me and my personal preference. Young lady in green right in front of me will be champion in the NCAA division. Congratulations. Young man crossing with the blue line is going to be in second here. And as far as giving the views and having that barrier ready to go, he does as good of a job as anybody. The control is great. That barrier goes where he wants him to. Skin and hair is really good. For me, it just comes down to a speed preference here. He's a touch slower as he goes. He's a touch more stop and go, especially on the transitions. Just pick those things up a little bit more. They fit more my type and kind and preference, but I want to say I'd show him to go two. Here's the I'm sure it's going to be three here. Remember, as far as presentation, skin and hair, and covering the basics, does a phenomenal job. He came out with a great first impression out of the gate, gets that goat sweat up, gets her going, gets her rolling with some really good passes again. Here's we get kind of on the edges of the ring, a little bit more stop and go, a little bit harder getting through those transitions as smoothly as the two in front of you, but still, nonetheless, a really high quality showing to fall here in three. Here, the one in front of me is going to be four. Really good off the initial great presentation, great smoothness, had more of that pace that I like to see off the initial gas. That extra pace ultimately ended up working against the longer we were out here. That dirt got a little more tired and wanted to push after the edges, but as far as our overall basics and maintaining that presence in the ring, really nice job. William is going to be next, and he's done a great job just maintaining in the middle of the ring, keeping that ball and moving the entire time. Make sure you see the center of the group. Make sure he's through the center of the ring with a nice pace. But again, you're kind of pushing the middle, almost works against you at times. You get too caught up in the crowd and don't maybe get as individualized away from the group at times as maybe some of the others in front of you, but still a nice place to fall forward. Really in front of me here is going to be next. Really good initial impression. Got the line, got him to work hard, work on a good impression off the bat. Good job with the basics of showmanship and presentation here. Just a little out here the way he wants to fight you and kind of push to the edges of the ring. And a little letting words go around the class. This is one of the speed preference I like. That ball today, he just got in here, gave us our first initial impression, then said, hey, I want to go to the gate. You did a really nice job maintaining your composure, working through and getting in there. When you get the passes through, you're as good of a showman and everybody. Your partner just kind of quit on you and fought on you today. Unfortunately, showmanship's a partner sport, and when your partner doesn't want to help you, it makes it more difficult. Really nice set of senior showmen here giving a nice round of applause.
Senior showman, first place, Joey Naylor. Second, Braden Myers. Third, Cooper Umbrell. Fourth, Maddie Musser. Fifth, Joshua Humphrey. Sixth, Mitchell Musser. And seventh, Lacey Lehman. Next up, intermediate showmen. These are ages 14 to 16. Tyler Best, Colton Klayberger, Chase Cruzy, Jonathan Farner, Easton Feeser, Caitlin Holtree, Sean Kutz, Allie Lehman, Ryan Lehman, Hannah Orris, Jesse Petchart, Tanner Smith, Colton Stamey, and Kayla Zelafro. Intermediate showman, if you're not in the ring, you're late. Let's go. into 13, Jacob Best, Clayton Cruzy, Janine Ferner, Levi Geddes, Bellarmine Grimes, Jack Gutschall, Blake Hammond, Mason Hostetter, Jordan Kahn, Henry Kutz, Naomi Kutz, Addie Martin, Cassius Scrignoli, Clayton Staney, and Cole Wickard. Junior Showman, if you don't have your peg in the ring, you're missing your class. Junior Showman in the ring.
but you just want to drive with that hand right down on his back a little bit too much than I thought I'd do. Young lady here on the left is going to be Max in a run that does a good job as far as head carriage presentation. When she gets through the center portion of the lane, really good passes, high quality views of this barrel. He's just a longer route here. He's a little bit hard-headed. He's a little bit stubborn. He says, I like it here on the outside. I don't really want to move than I want to. And he kind of dominates the logo a little bit more than maybe some of those ahead. Just needs some more pace, more control. Young lady McKenna is going to be next. Another one that does a good job as far as getting some good views, running where I am at all times. This barrel has just been more stop and go the longer we're out here. And the young lady with the ball in her grip plate is going to be seventh here. Really good job as far as pace. Get some nice passes through the center portion of the lane. Just at times you want to stick on the outside a bit too much. I want to see you get a little bit more aggressive and through the center of the lane. Congratulations, these exhibitors.
Junior division, first place, Jacob Best. Second, Blake Hammond. Third, Clayton Crozy. Fourth place, Clayton Stamey. Fifth place, Addie Martin. Sixth, Levi Geddes. And seven, Janine Farner. Next in the rings are novice showmen, ages 8 to 10. Casey Bear, Natalie Kutz, Ava Lopez, Gwen McKee, Olivia Ryan, Presley Whistler, Delaney Smith, Kenzie Stoner, and Blake Smith.
these individuals. For me, there's just one individual that sets themselves apart from the rest, covers the basics really well, gives us some of those extras in presentation as far as skin and hair, head coverage, really good pace, really good control. You're right in front of me with the big deal. You'll be champion in this particular division. Congratulations. For another one that mimics our champion and typing kind, how they get out and do about things as far as extra presentation, extra kind of look, and extra skin and hair. Here for me today is the one lady right here on the right with the long arms on her shirt. She's going to be second here today, but slots her into second in this particular class. Maybe just spends more time on the outside than the young man that wins the class, but still does a really nice job as far as presentation and control. You know, with the Hereford appearing there right in front of me is going to be 30. This is the next best as far as our control right here. Does a good job getting that ball through the center portion of the ring, making him go where she wants to go. Maybe just not some of the extras in presentation, and but we see the two ahead of her. Anybody with the back appearing there is going to be next. Another one, good job as far as control. Get some really good passes through the center portion of the ring. Good job running around at all times. Just not some of the extras as we work through. Young lady with the back peg is going to be here in 5. Some good passes through the center portion of the ring. Does a nice job making sure she stays on the opposite side of the hole. Gives me just maybe a little bit on the edge as far as compared to the two. A little on in front of her there. We're going next with the young lady here in the pink. Pink pride shot. Another good job with control. Just catch her clutch on the wrong side of the board a couple of times for me and my personal preference. The young lady with the right and kind of pink shirt's going to be next. Another one. Good job with control when you get her through the center portion. Just need to kind of work on getting her through more often. We'll go next with the young lady here with the blue pipe. Do a nice job when you get him through the center of the ring. He just wants to do a little bit angry and a little bit, the ground and push to the side. And the young man with the crop is going to be next here and round us out. Does a good job as far as knowing where I am and eye contact. Just a hard that wants to work to the side and doesn't want to get through the center as much as some of the others here today. Giving all this exhibitors a nice round of applause.
Novice division, first place Casey Bear, second Ava Lopez, third Kenzie Sterner, fourth Gwen McKee, fifth place Delaney Smith, sixth Natalie Kutz, 7 Olivia Ryan, 8 Blake Smith, and 9 Presley Rissler. Again, we're going to let that novice pegs cool off just a second, and we'll go our champion drive for showmen. For showmen, we will need from the senior division, Joey Naylor. From the intermediate, Tyler Best. From the junior, Jacob Best. And from the novice, Casey Bear. On standby for selection of Supreme, we're going to need Maddie Musser.
as we work through here today, and I think our four class winners get out here and just exemplify the top quality here in the top end today. These are showing the cover of basics really well as far as pace maintaining on the right side of the hog, as far as giving us some of those extras as far as our good 3D view, good scan, hair, good overall presentation. I think there's multiple different ways you could go based on your personal preference and what you like to see out of a showman here. For me, I think there's just one individual that goes it for me and just covers the basics so well, but brings us some of the extras. I like the place this individual brings, really good control, always in the right place at the right time. Please give all those exhibitors today one big round of applause. I'll go out here and shake the hand of your champion showman.
Your champion market swine showman is Joey Miller. Joey's a previous winner of Supreme Showmanship, so she's not eligible. We're going to bring back Senior Division Maddie Musser. And we'll ask our judge to pick a representative for Supreme Showmanship, which will be here tonight at 5 p.m.
Good job, however, we're back out here to select one for your Master Showmanship contest here. And I think it gets down to some comparing and contrasting here as you work through the set. Again, I think it's different styles showing, but I think they all accomplish the same job for me as we talk about one that's just so smooth, so in control here. Love the pace that this individual brings. The control and the ability to separate the pack is as good as anybody here. Hard to know the problem notice in the ring. I know this is going to be congratulations.
Representing Market Swine and Supreme Showmanship will be Casey Bear. Congratulations on all of our exhibitors. Let's put our hands together one more time for all these Market Hog exhibitors. Great job, guys. All right, Market Hog exhibitors, we're ready for under and overweights. Unders and overs. Easton Feeser, 311. Glenn McKee, 325. Jonathan Farner, 338. Janine Farner, 337. Glenn McKee, 324. Easton Feeser, 310. And Olivia Line, 281. Again, under and overweights. Into the ring. Lightweight 1, market hogs to ringside. Lightweight 1. Just another reminder to try to keep that center aisle clear, please. I know everybody wants to see the show, but we got to move pigs. Please keep the center aisle clear. Lightweight 1s to ringside.
Get started here today with our weight and overweight class. As I try to sort through here as you pick apart each one of these individuals, for me, there's just one of these particular hogs that I think just brings the most raw shape, raw expression, and amount of product to the table. You know, in this particular class, that's going to be the young man in the orange shirt. He'll be first in the weight overweight class today. Young lady here to my left with the Berkshire Ball is going to come next. I appreciate the extra foot and bone that he has. Good about the center portion of his body. He just gets a touch piece on from the side. We'd like to see a shot more true shape set into him today. Young man here in the gray shirt with the tan down pig is going to be next. Love the length of body and extension. When you get up on top and underneath, there's some more width and overall product there as compared to some of the others. We just need to see some more shape and expression there to move him up higher today. Young man here to my left with the Berkshire Imperial Rogue is going to be next. Another really long-bodied one. Good turn to that lower portion of the skeleton. Need to shape that one and pull that one apart to move up. Young man with the bolted hog is going to come in here next. Another one. You like the rib cage, the soft look, the comfort that this one brings to the table. Just need to give that one a shot of power, a shot of bone to move up higher here today. We'll go next to the young ladies out there. Blue right here. Really like the height of shoulder, the length of side. Really good easy feeding kind of a hog that needs a shot more power, a shot more substance. Need to pull some of that cover off. And we're going about the class here today with the young lady in front of me. Another good-sided, soft-sided hog that's real easy feeding and practical doing. Just need to pull some of the, excuse me, pull some of the extra cover up that one. Keep that one up in there to move in the class today. Congratulations, these exhibitors.
Results of our unders and overs. First place, Gwen McKee. Second, Gwen McKee. Third, Jonathan Farner. Fourth, Easton Feeser. Fifth, Easton Feeser. Sixth, Olivia Ryan. And seventh, Janine Farner. Lightweight 1 into the ring. Waylon Flashers, 327. Caitlin Holtree, 353. Blake Hammond, 459. And Clayton Cruzy, 165. Weights in this class are 215 to 218. 215 to 218. Lightweight 2 to the holding pen. Lightweight 2.
get rolling in our first set of market hogs here in our lightweight division. And for me, it comes down between a pair of them. I think there's two out here that have a touch more overall shape, have a touch more expression, and just raw power through that level 1 of their skeleton as we work through the pair. I think there's one that's just a touch more square to the surface as he sets his hind two, like the extra bit of substance and power that this one has at the surface. And then here in the far right with the belted bell, you're about to get really first in this particular class. Calico Goats in the family up here in second. And again, similar to our class winner, raw shape and power on the top side of the skeleton. Good old trench head wearing that gilt with a good group right there in front of her tail. Like that extra power, like that extra width. Just would like to see her with a shot more bone and a shot more comfort as we compare her to the gilt that wins the class. Really like the young lady's gilt that's going to come in third from a feature standpoint, from a look and design standpoint. Man, this one is big-footed and step forward. Really doing some unique pieces as you right step to the side and analyze your extension from the side. She just needs to have more overall oomph and power. We need to blow her up when she goes away from you. Get her a little bit more roundness and build this a cage. And we round out the class with the young man's easy doing, long-bodied, comfortable kind of a goat. Just needs more product there to move up in this particular class.
Lightweight one, first place, Blake Hammond. Second, Clayton Crozy. Third, Caitlin Holtroy. And fourth, Waylon Flasher. Next class in the ring, lightweight 2, Jacob Best 247, Mason Hostetter 290, Tyler Best 246, Josh Holtree 351. Weights in this class are 222 to 224. Market hog exhibitors, lightweight 3 to ringside, lightweight 3 to ringside.
Start this class with the young man in front of his gut and the lion shirt. Appreciate the extra presence of showing this one does. Really good with the extension ahead of her blade. Proportional when you step off and lead her from the side. She carries that width she has at the top side of her skeleton down to the surface and sets down with a plenty big enough foot and bone. Nice place to start this particular class. Young man's blue in front of me is going to be next. And this is the one that just matches our class winner in terms of true shape, dimension, and power. So this one is so bold-chested. This one is so wide going away from you. Big, massive top. She's just pushed to the absolute extremes as far as we're talking a structural standpoint. We need to fix her here at our hand junction. Make her more comfortable as she goes. Then we throw a little bit more practical, soft-sided kind of horse. Young man in the beach iron shirt is going to be next. Good solid body on this horse. This one has the advantage of over the right and fourth is having a touch extra there at the surface. Then a touch more set down about his turn there. And young man runs out the class. Really comfortable, practical, good body kind of a ball. We need to push into the condition and just give him a shot more shape to move him up there in the class today. Congratulations, these exhibitors.
Lightweight 2, first place, Jacob Best. Second, Tyler Best. Third, Mason Hostetter. Fourth, Josh Holtree. Next in the ring, lightweight 3, Bellamy Grimes, 304. Corin Hetrick, 56. Clayton Stanley, 236. Cassius Scrignoli, 293. Jordan Kahn, 115.
Here to my left, as you analyze and look through the class, this one is the one that just covers the market fundamentals. The best is right here. This one is the lightest about the channel, one-third of the storage, and the best over the top side, and brings the most shape and true roll expansion. That one's are going to the roll with the most particular pounds of product and capability out of this particular class. Your weight is down here, how big is going to be next. And this is the next one in this class that brings our most product here. Volume and muscle, this one is second best in the class. Has some shit or has some overall volume there as you're starting to measure his top and down through the lower portion of his head. He's got some good depth of body. We just need to give him a touch more bone. We need to give him a touch more shape to move up here in this particular class. Your latest speckled plate here in front of me is going to be next. Appreciate the comfort of this one. Appreciate the good softness of side and depth of body. This one is again has some volume and muscle there on the top side of his skeleton. We just need to give him a shot of shape. We need to clean him up under his jaw to move him up next. Your last spotlight opinion there is going to be next. Appreciate the softness of side and the length of body. This one needs to be more opened up. This one needs to have a touch more expression. And the one needs right down that rounds out the class. Love the length of side, love the comfort. This one just needs to have a shot more oomph and overall power. Need to set him down about his spine and make him more comfortable. Congratulations, this is yours.
Line 3, first place, Cassius Scrignoli. Second, Bellamy Grimes. Third, Jordan Kahn. Fourth, Cord Hetrick. And fifth, Clayton Stamey. Next in the line, lightweight 4. Matty Muscle, 461. Chase Cruzy, 163. Cassius Scrignoli, 298. Delana Ferner, 340. Four in this ring, 228 to 230 are the weights. 228 to 230. Lightweight 5 to ringside. Lightweight 5 to ringside.
Ladies and black bears going to start this particular class. This guy just kind of Currently powers the class in terms of true width and squareness down to the surface. He's comfortable as he kicks his hack back behind his body and goes, sets down square and wide there at the surface, has the volume and muscle there on the top side of his skeleton. To fix this guy, we need to clean him up about his front 1/3, lean him up a little bit more. Man's belted goat is going to be next. This one's the next best in terms of raw shape and cuttability there, especially at the top side of their skeleton. Good groove running down the back, pulling the shape as you work into their lower hand. We'll just need to pull or pull in the lower portion of their skeleton to move right with the black belt of what is a class today. Young Rose Hooker appearing there comes next. Good-bodied, soft-sided, easy feeding kind of a hog that's got some comfort and flex. This guy just needs to be powering up at the surface. We need a touch more shape there on the top side of the skeleton, and the middle-aged Hooker appearing goat's going to round us out. Long-bodied, extended ahead of their blade. She just needs a shot of more overall oomph and power and shape to move up in this particular drive. Congratulations, these exhibitors.
Lightweight 4, first place Matty Musser, second Chase Cruzy, third Delana Farner, and fourth Cassius Scrignoli. Next class, lightweight 5, Addie Martin 385, Henry Kutz 256, Cole Rickard 384. Three in this class weighing 232 to 234, 232 to 234. Swine exhibitors, lightweight champions up next. Lightweight champions up next.
Practical place to start this particular class with the already blue speckled bear. This guy just outstouts and outpowers the rest of the particular drive. He's got the extra circumference of bone. He's stout scarred. He's opened up through the lower 1/3 of his body, proportionally from the side. We need to fix this guy about his feet and his legs to really make him ideal. He wants to roll a little bit on those back too, a little bit too squishy on those front too, but all the extra stoutness and power that he brings here today. He knows to know what the parent dog's going to be next. Love the length of spine, love the extension ahead of the blade. This one's just a little bit more true and square as he sets down to the surface. And then we roll out with the red-belted hog here in 3. Appreciate again the length of side, the softness of body this one brings. This one just wants to hock in, needs more width, needs more power to move up in this particular class. Congratulations as exhibitors.
Lightweight 5, first place Addie Martin, second Cole Rickard, and third Henry Kutz. We're now ready for our champion lightweight drive. We need first place from each class back in the ring. Lightweight 1, Blake Hammonds, 459. Lightweight 2, Jacob Best, 247. Lightweight 3, Cassius Scrignoli, 293. Lightweight 4, Matty Musser, 461. And lightweight 5, Addie Martin, 385.
Let's see the class winners out here in our lightweight division. Let's give all of these exhibitors a nice round of applause. I'll talk you through the class winners individually here, then tell you the one I like best for champion. We'll talk you through the order that I So here in the classes, we'll start first about the young man's belted bow on the far side. We talked to him in class just having an extra advantage in terms of raw shape and mass there at the top side of his skeleton. Good trench laid down in that hog. He's one that's got plenty as you step in behind and analyze that lower portion of his hand and overall mass. He's got some width of chest when he comes right at you. As we're going to get picky around his back here in the champion drive, again, he's one that maybe just doesn't match up as well from the side. He's a touch crustier about that head neck. He's a touch straighter about that hack as you really watch him go away. Youngman's blue here that wins the second class. That one came out and ripped me hard. Appreciate the presence that that one brings us. Really proportional from the side. Good ahead of her body. She's trembling on the top side of her skeleton as she matches there when she hits the surface. Like the bone, like the substance. If we're going to get picky on any one place, maybe a touch dry through the center portion of her body. We'd like to see her probably in 20-25 more pounds, but I think that's getting picky on one that brings a lot of really good pieces to the table. Young speckled gift on the far side wins the third class. That's one we talked in that class. Just the advantage and true carcass value that one brought of the particular drive. That one on its class was the most shapely on the top side of her skeleton. That one was the truest down to the surface and brought the most substance at the ground. As we roll it back out here and analyze, there's just not quite enough of her through that center portion of her body. We need to give her a touch more depth. We need to give her a touch more boldness to compete with some of the others in here today. Young lady's backbone wins the fourth class, and that's one that we love the result of the flex that he has comfortable as he skits out here and goes, squares he hits down to the surface and maintains that through that lower one-third of his skeleton. Good about his rib, good about his volume and muscle. That guy's probably pushing the condition on below a touch for my personal preference. He needs to be cleaned up about that lower jaw. We need to peel a touch off of that top side of his skeleton to really make him elite, but you can't deny the extra look that he has and the comfort. And the young lady's blue speckled ball that wins the last class. So big finger, so stout score, really opened up through the center one-third of his body, and plenty of shape and expression there on the top side of his skeleton. He, from a structural standpoint, needs to be fixed. He's too squishy there on his front, too, and wants to hit and roll off his hind two ever so slightly, but again, one that's proportional from the side, stout score and stout mass out here as we analyze these five class roles. For me, this is one that I think puts the most good together as far as package of presentation, comfort, stoutness, overall look from the side. Young man's got the wins class 2 by champion lightweight. Congratulations.
Champion lightweight class 2. Lightweight. Champion lightweight goes to Jacob Best out of lightweight 2. We'll bring in Tyler as we'll pick a reserve.
We'll have the second place, both right down here, really choked in class. Over with Barbara opened up. She's about that down one-third of her skeleton. Tremendously heavy muscle, kind of a gear, but almost to her detriment here. She's maxed out. She wants to get off the hood at the handling junction. Just isn't as comfortable as she gets out and goes. It comes down to this decision between two of them from there as we get out here. Ultimately, do you go side with the one with extra comfort, but maybe needs to be a touch more shapely, or do you go with that raw mass and power and stoutness that maybe needs to be more suitable, more comfortable as he goes out here. For me, I think in this particular division, the way I do in this room, it's just got so much more raw power, shape, and progression. He's adequate enough today for the ball and young lady in the last class of the reserve. Congratulations.
Reserve champion lightweight goes to Addie Martin. Congratulations. Reserve champion lightweight goes to Addie Martin. Let's put our hands together for all of our examiners once again. Medium weight ones, we're ready for you in the ring. Medium weight 1. Presley Whistler, 296. Blake Smith, 218. Clayton Cruzy, 164. Kayla Zelafo, 365. Clayton Cruzy, 164. Clayton Cruzy. Four in this class weighing 235 to 238, 235 to 238. Medium weight 2, please make your way to the holding pen. Medium weight 2.
So going to a little late here, and I'm going to keep moving through these classes with some pace and efficiency. It's starting to get hot. I know it's getting hot on the pigs. I know it's getting hot on the kids, so we're going to try and get this and move through efficiently here. Young ladies white bar is going to start this particular class. He's the one that just gives us the most presence from the side. He's the most extended ahead of his blade, like his substance down at the surface, and he's comfortable as he goes. Probably needs a shot more mass and power to be ideal, but still appreciate the comfort and presence he has from the side. Spot's going to be too low, the center body, really robust about his rib cage. Deep body, just so good through that center one-third of his body. Had some down in the nuts or has some down there at the surface. He just needs to be extended off of both ends of his skeleton for me. He's pushing the limits as far as cover. We need to peel him back ever so slightly to be deemed ideal. Young man's gut's going to be next here. And through and through here, we appreciate the length of side that both of these individuals bring. Good extension, good length of side. Both of these individuals just need to have a shot more over our power and substance. The one laying shots on fluid, he sees are just a touch better about our hip compared to the one that falls directly behind. Congratulations, these particular exhibitors.
Medium weight 1, first place Kayla Zafro. 2, Clayton Cruzy. 3, Blake Smith. And 4th, Pistol Whistler. Next class in the ring, medium weight 2. Chase Cruzy's 162. Jack Getchell 479 and Jesse Petchart 235. Three in this class, 241 to 245. 241 to 245. Medium weight 3 to ringside. Medium weight 3.
Logical place to start this particular class with the young man Spot Ball. Appreciate the presence that he brings to the side. Proportionally built, still good ahead of his blade. Plenty of center of body and mass through that loop, really one-third. Plenty of substance there at the ground. We need to pull him ideal. We need to pull him the pull ever so slightly. Maybe do a much more shape there at the top side of his skeleton, but still a logical place to start this particular class. Anyways, right for the period of is going to be next, like the extension and length aside that this one brings. Then we got the depth up the body there. This one just needs to be pulled apart and blown apart to move up higher in the class today. Young man's weight line is going to round out the class. Plenty lean, plenty extended kind of a hog. This one's just too flat at the surface, too high muscle to move up higher in the particular class today. Congratulations, these exhibitors.
Medium weight 2, first place Chase Cruzy, second Jack Gutchell, and third Jesse Pitchert. Medium weight 3 into the ring, Hannah Orris, 491, Blake Hammond, 458, and Levi Geddes, 329. 3 in this class weighing 247 to 248. Medium weight 4 to ringside. Medium weight 4 to ringside.
One of the closer decisions we've had on the top side of the class here, and it's my preference to start with the unmade spot here. As we compare the spot in the right pig that come in first and second, there's just more hard there as you evaluate. This one's good there on the top side of the skeleton. Should have plenty of some extra width there up top, but this one truly carries that mass to the surface a touch better, a little bit wider there at the surface, more natural as she tracks away. You know, we need to pick her up on her front 1/3 and from a presentation and a design standpoint, but there's just so much more product and hog there as compared to the pig that comes in 2. The white pig that comes in 2, you love the stoutness of forearm, you love his bone, you love the stoutness of skull. You step to the side, extended ahead of his blade, good looking and level from the side. What ultimately he falls in second today is when you step in right behind him, he just closes up too much to the surface. He doesn't have as much natural chest fluid when he comes right at you. I think we give him a shot of extra width and dimension at the surface. He rivals that spot, but wins the class even harder. You know, this pig that's going to come next, appreciate the practicality of this one. Comfortable, flexible, soft-sided individual. We just need to have more shape, more mass there at the surface to move him up higher in the class today. Congratulations, these exhibitors.
Medium weight 3, first place Blake Hammond, second Levi Geddes, and third Hannah Orris. Next class in the ring, medium weight 4. Ava Lopez, 100. Caitlin Holtree, 354. Maverick Geddes, 331. Naomi Kutz, 253. 4 in this class, all weighing 250, 250. Medium weight 5 to the hunting pen, medium weight 5.
Interesting trial here on the top end to work through. From there, I'm going to start with the young lady in the white shirt and her gear here. This is the one that I think just brings the most good to the table as we analyze them. This one is just so good at the top side of her skeleton. She's big back, she's shapely, she's got that expression throughout that top, down through the lower portion of her head. You go off to the side and appreciate the extension of head of her blade. This one's got a huge high leg lead into her. It's just functionally enough on that high leg for this particular class. The extra stoutness, the extra mass, the extra propulsion from the side is what ultimately sets her to the top of this particular class. The ladies now here is, that's going to come in second. We have the flexibility that this guy brings. He's so comfortable in that the way he uses that hock. He kicks it back behind his body. He gets out and reaches off the front end of his skeleton and travels out here comfortably. You step to the side. You love that extension ahead of his blade. He works back into a plenty deep and soft side. Now, ultimately, I pick on him is he's probably too full today from that personal preference. He's got a little bit too much extra there. He wants to pull himself down right behind his blade ever so slightly, a touch rounded out of his hip, but he's just more comfortable. There has been an extension in the hole that we're going to find in 3. The spot ball that comes in 3. Another one, you love the stoutness of feature. This one is big-legged. This one is big forearm and stout strong. And we appreciate those things about him. Proportional for the side as you analyze him. Ultimately, what sets him in 3 today is he's just a little bit plainer, not as overall type and guide. He wants to run down here about his hip right there, get a touch crusty about his neck, and then when you get down on the top side of his skeleton, he's just a touch plainer as compared to the two, and a touch stouter as compared to the two in front of him. But now you have the stoutness of skull and stoutness of feature that one brings, and he already rounds out the class with a good-sided, really functional, comfortable kind of a hug. This guy just gets outpowered and outmassed today compared to the four in front of him. Congratulations to those exhibitors.
Medium weight 4, first place Ava Lopez, second Caitlin Holtry, third Maverick Geddes, and fourth Naomi Kutz. Next in the ring, medium weight 5. Next in the ring, medium weight 5, Colton Staney, 120, Maddie Musser, 460, Natalie Kurtz, 257, Clayton Staney, 233. Following this class, all weighing 251, 251. Exhibitors up next, we're ready for medium weight champion. Medium weight champions up next.
Logical place to start this class with the young ladies built to go. This girl just puts the most good together in this particular drive. Really extension out of the front one third of her skeleton. Really good at the surface, comfortable about how she handles herself, and has some substance about it. If I were going to get picky on her, maybe want to pull her apart a little bit, set her down in her spine ever so slightly, but still a logical place to start this particular class. And then he's going to come to appreciate this goat's length aside and comfortability as she gets out here. We'll just need to give her a shot more bone at the surface. Need to give her a shot more stoutness to move up here today. Young ladies, red goat's going to come next again. Practical, easy feed and good body kind of a goat that needs more shape on the top side of the skeleton. And the other one's boost buckle bone that rounds out. Love the length aside, love the height of front. Just need to give this one more overall oomph and power to move up with the others in class today. Congratulations as exhibitors.
Medium weight 5, first place Maddie Musser, second Clayton Staney, third Natalie Kutz, and fourth Colton Staney. Next up, we're ready for medium weight champion. From our medium weight 1 class, we have Kayla Zelafro. Medium weight 2, Chase Cruzy. Medium weight 3, Blake Hammond. Medium weight 4, Ava Lopez. And medium weight 5, Maddie Musser. That's your drive. Light heavyweight market hogs, light heavyweight 1 to ringside, light heavyweight 1 to ringside.
Let's give all of our little old exhibitors a nice round of applause. Might be a bit more difficult of a division to sort and fit together as we work out through the classes and get our class winners back out here. We'll talk about each one individually here again before I tell you the one I like best for champion. We'll talk first about the young ladies weight band that comes out of that first class. We talked in the class just having the extra extension ahead of his blade there. One is one-sided, rubber made, good design here from the side, and flexible as he gets out and goes as we compare and contrast him out here. Maybe we want to see him bending about that center portion of his body, just a touch more shape up top, but love the functionality he has, love the look he brings us from the side. Young man Scott Bailey that wins the second class, stout featured, good body, good, really good about that center one-third. You like the proportionality he brings, you like the bone he brings down at the surface. As we get him back out here, he's probably one. We need to peel a little bit of cover off of. We need to freshen him up. We need to make him a little bit harder top there on the upside of his skeleton to really get out the push. But love the center body, love the bone that this one offers us today. The other spot out here that has a little more expression out here. This one's rolling about her back, more shapely here, wider about her pin set as you get behind her. And we appreciate the comfort that this one has when she gets out and goes. You know, as we compare and contrast to some of the others out here, she probably needs to be picked up about that front one third, extended out, but there's a ton of product, a ton of shape, and a ton of mass right into that particular gilt. Young ladies about to get the ones the fourth class. Really like this one from design, brings some extra elegance and look out here, good ahead of her blade, when it's tremendously big back, right about her pin set, and carries that down to the surface where she gets out and goes on a really chubby kind of a high leg. You know, she's probably not the bonus there about that forehead, but still, I think she's plenty adequate for the mass that she has up top and the extra bone and substance she brings at the surface. You know, the ladies got the wins the last class, great ahead of her blade, so good about that hip carriage, extension there, one that you like the shape, you like the bone there at the surface. As we compare and contrast her, she's flexible, but probably needs to be a touch more comfortable and set down in her spine. We probably need to pull her apart just a bit as she comes at you and goes away, but appreciate the bone, the extra look that this one has from the side. We'll get out here and start the middleweight champion. For me, I think there's one that just puts the most group together about that high leg, but one that's just really big topped and proportional. You're ready here on the far side of the women's class 4. Middleweight champion, middleweight. Congratulations.
Champion medium weight goes to Ava Lopez out of class 4. We're going to bring in Caitlin Holtree. And we'll select a reserve.
He'll drop that second place barrier. We talked about his look ahead of the blade. He's elevated, he's clean, he's extended, he's flexible as he gets out here and goes and kicks that hop back behind his body and reaches off the front part of his skeleton like a center portion of his body. Tucked in class there. He probably is a little bit too full today and wants to pull him down right there behind his blade. He's a little bit shorter and rounded out of the set. And I really want to see a touch more shape and expression out here, but I don't think he jumps into the mix. For me, the reserve decision gets a touch closer here, but it comes down to two individuals as we compare and contrast there. For me, there's this one that's got so much more shape, so much more expression there on the top side of the skeleton. We really relax this one span. I think she pushes our champion even harder. Young lady that wins class 5 will be reserved. Congratulations.
Reserve grand champion medium weight goes to Maddie Musser. Congratulations all of our exhibitors. We'll clear the ring, and we're ready for light heavyweight 1. Light heavyweight 1, we're ready in the ring. Mason Wickard, 380. Alan Raymond, 366. Cooper Umbro, 373. Three in this class weighing 252, to 253, 252 to 253. Light heavyweight 2 to ringside. Exhibitors, light heavyweight 2 to ringside.
Nice blue ball to start this particular class. Look how proportional this one is from the side when you step back and analyze them. All the pieces fit together is good about that center body. Really comfortable or really squirrels and lets the surface like the extra width there on the top side of his skeleton. He's got some stoutness of skull. Now if you're going to get picky on one area, he likes to turn in ever so slightly when he comes directly at you. Not going to touch crustier about that neck, but you can't deny the extra proportionality he brings. Just plenty of mass, plenty of power. A nice place to start this particular class. Birthday gate is going to come to love the extension on the head of his blade, right the body, shape right there on the top side of his skeleton. Really kind of an elegant kind of a give usually analyze here. Really good about her substance there at the surface. As we step back and analyze her as compared to the body that wins the class, her length of body image works against her here. She's a little bit drier and tighter about that center body as compared to the ball that wins the class. We put her third off of her and put a touch to her center. I think she pushes the ball that wins the class even harder. And everyone's got the rounds out the class. Soft-sided, functional kind of a deal. She just needs to have some more power, some more expression to move up with the two ahead of her in class today. Congratulations, these exhibitors.
Light heavyweight 1, first place, Allie Lehman. Second, Cooper Umbrella. And third, Mason Rickard. Light heavyweight 2 into the ring. Jesse Pitchard, 230. Sean Coates, 248. Brandon Myers, 60. 3 in this class weighing 255 to 257. 255 to 257. Light heavyweight 3 to ringside. Light heavyweight 3 to ringside.
Easy place to start this class with the young man's very belted gear. I appreciate the center body mass there on the top side of her skeleton. Trim right down to the surface as you analyze her. She's proportional, plenty of mass, plenty enough shape. If you're going to get extra critical order, maybe you need to extend and clean up that front one fan ever so slightly, but still a really easy place to start this particular class. Young man's Hereford opinion now is going to be next. Flexible, one-body kind of an individual. Has some depth aside. Ultimately, the advantage this one has over the Hogan Thor is it's just a touch better right there behind his blade. As we round out the class with the young man speckled up gear, really like the top, height of front, length aside. This one brings here today. We just need to fix this one from a structure and a build standpoint to move it up in a particular class today. Congratulations, those exhibitors.
Light heavyweight 2, first place, Brandon Myers. Second, Sean Coates. And third, Jesse Pitchard. Next class in the ring, light heavyweight 3. Lacey Lyman, 367. Mason Rickard, 382. Cord Hetrick, 55. Hannah Orris, 490. Ryan Lehman, 173. 5 in this class weighing 258 to 260, 258 to 260. Light heavyweight 4, into the ring, light heavyweight 4.
Starting off the class with the young ladies colored up there. His biggest issue today is he doesn't want a by show bar for the young lady. She's doing a nice job sticking with him and getting him out here. Talk a little about the bid from a market standpoint. Like his look from the side, extended ahead of his body, proportionally about that center portion of his body. A little thing there about his mass at the top side of his skeleton and how he tracks there at the surface on a comfortable hip and hind leg. If we're going to get critical level, probably need to put a much more shape and expression there on the top side of his skeleton, but can't deny the extra look, comfort, and proportionality that he brings to the table. The right spot ball is going to be next, and this one's probably just a touch past 12 o'clock. You might go a little bit into a pumpkin hue as we talk about it. One that's just massive from a stoutness and bone standpoint, really good about a body standpoint, and ultra big through that center one-third of his body. But as we talk about being that past the 12 o'clock point, he's just too heavy conditioned here. He's too plain. We need to peel him back about his jaw, put some more shape there on the top side of his skeleton, and just cut some of that extra grease off of him to move up and make him really work with that extra stoutness and look that he brings to the side. Downward light here, tail big jaw is going to be next. Good length of body, good depth of body. This one over the next three that we have to come probably has the advantage on shape on the top side of her skeleton. She just needs to be stouter featured and more massive to move up with the two immediately in front of her. Young lady's back hole comes next. Sound structured, good body cognitive individual needs to be stouter, needs to be pulled back from a condition standpoint. And all of the rounds out the class. Like the width this one has up top and center of the body. This one's just too concerning from a structural standpoint. Almost with a little bit of the rope off that back hind left to move up higher in the class here tonight.
Light heavyweight 3, first place Lacey Lehman, second Ryan Lehman, third Cord Hetrick, fourth Hannah Orris, and fifth Mason Wickard. Next class in the ring, light heavyweight 4, Warren Flasher 397, Henry Kurtz 255, Jacob Best 245, Jack Gutchaw 480, Cole Wickard 383. Five in this class weighing 261 to 263, 261 to 263. Light heavyweight 5 to ringside, light heavyweight 5.
Another easy place to start this class with the young man's belted boa. This one's a stout love kind of individual, good about his forearm, plenty big back and shaping enough as you get there on the top side of his skeleton, and so proportional about his build from the side. If we're going to get picky on him ever so slightly, he wants to swallow those hind two just a touch here, but still a really practical and easy place to start this particular class. Henry on the far side, but his gear are going to come next. Appreciate the weight of the body this one has. Of the remaining hooves out here, this one's the next best about the shape there on the top side of his skeleton and true expression to compete with the man who wins the class. We just need to see more substance, more stoutness, and more hog. Young man right in front of me, these are going to be three. Appreciate the easy feeding look of this one. Good body, deep-sided build cage. This one just needs to have a touch more shape to compete with the hog directly in front of him. The right to red hog's going to come next, and another one, easy doing, practical kind of a pig that's just a touch too plain, touch too right muscle, and we round out the class with the young man, real tall, friendly, one-sided individual. Just need more substance of that hog to move him up here in this particular class. Congratulations, these exhibitors.
Light heavyweight four. First place, Jacob Best. Second, Jack Gutschall. Third, Waylon Flasher. Fourth, Henry Kutz. And fifth, Cole Wickard. Next in the ring, light heavyweight five. Sean Kutz, 250. Jordan Kahn, 116. Natalie Kutz, 399. Tanner Smith, 216. And Colton Kleberger, number 3. 5 in this class, weighing 264 to 267.
An easy place to start this class with the young man's bow count. Again, she kind of checks the boxes we've been talking about in the last 4 classes. Extended ahead of her blade, proportionally from the side, big back, shapely kind of an individual that carries that width down to the surface. Interesting to see her come back in a right middleweight drive. Moves back to the young man here on my far right with the bow shirt. He's going to be second in this particular class. Like the depth side of that down brings us to be easy feeding kind of an individual. Needs to have more shape and substance to compete with the directly in front of him. Right here, the long shot is going to be three. And then Laddie extended ahead of his body on the individual. Decent about the shape there on the top side of the skeleton. Just needs more center body to move up with the particular remaining individuals. The speckle of the hog here, the young lady is going to be next. Easy feeding, practical kind of an individual. Probably carrying a touch with too much condition. They're doing ideal at this point. And the young lady's blue line is going to round out the class. Long spine, functional kind of individual. Just needs more shape and power to move up here today. Congratulations, these exhibitors.
Light heavyweight 5, first place Colton Kleberger, second Sean Kutz, third Tanner Smith, fourth Jordan Kahn, and fifth Natalie Kutz. Next in the ring, we're ready for light heavyweight champion. Out of light heavyweight 1, Allie Lehman. Light heavyweight 2, Brandon Myers. Light heavyweight 3, Lacey Lehman. Light heavyweight 4, Jacob Best. And light heavyweight 5, Colton Kleberger.
Really good start here in the light heavyweight division. Let's give all these exhibitors a nice round of applause. Quality here in the top end is kicked up a notch in this particular division. And one of the more difficult decisions that I've had here in the, one of the more difficult decisions I've had here today. We'll talk about these orgs individually. Then I'll tell you the one I like your best for champion in the light heavyweight division. We'll talk first about the young ladies blue ball. Who's that first class? One that will blow right out of their gate. Love the chest fluid that he has in him. One that's really good when you get that on the top side of his skeleton. Tremendously big back. Right about his pin set. And one that really carries that down to the surface well. One that you really like the proportionality there on that his side. As we get him back out here and start to compare and contrast him a little bit more. Maybe a little bit straighter about that front 1/3 and his belly to his knee. Probably a touch crustier here about his head and neck. But still, we love the raw power that he brings. One that's proportionally good looking from the side. Young man's bucket barrels a little brief was the second class excuse me, I gotta remember to stay away from that. Really sharp next. This is one of the really better bear, tremendously stout footage, tremendously stout skull, really expressive there on the top side of the skeleton. A lot of power and product and width back into that guy as we get him back out here and analyzing with the others in the group here. He's just a touch tighter than our body spray. He wants to swivel a little bit more as we analyze and get him directly away from us, but laying a ton of power and product and width building that hard. Young ladies crumbed up better than one of the middle classes here. Love the look and flexibility about that big. Really extended ahead of a blade. Good looking from the side. Flexible as you go and really comfortable out here. You know, we talked to him in class, probably being a touch player on his overall typing kind. Needing to put a shot more expressive to get expression to go with that volume amount or muscle and stoutness of feature. But love this one from the side. Love how comfortable he is. Young man's good here on the left side. Really proportional, really good at the center portion of her body. Still shapely there on the top side of their skeleton. Right out of her pool and comfortable as you watch her go off her hind too. We talked about her front length there maybe being where the problem falls. She's a little bit shorter and chipping about that head and neck. When she comes at you, she wants to come in at the knee and be a little bit squishy on those front two pastodes, but still, love the proportion, love the look, love the shape up high. Young man's blue here that wins that last class. Talked about just the really elegant kind of individual that wins that class, really good ahead of their blade, shapely and expressive there on the top side of her skeleton. Doesn't disappoint when you step in behind. As we sit back and analyze her here, probably a touch drier about that center portion of her body. The longer she's out here and the more she fights the young man, whether she wants to swivel a little bit off those hind too, but love the look, love the shape and expression that that one brings to the table. I think it's a challenging decision out here as we go. You know, ultimately, place your preferences when you like them. Then I think there's one that just is the most comfortable, good-backed, good-body kind of an individual. We cut the head off of this one. I think it's an easy decision nonetheless. No one right in front of me will champion light heavy. Congratulations.
Champion light heavyweight goes to Braden Myers. Out of the second class, we'll bring in Sean Kutz, and we'll select a reserve.
We dropped that second place Hereford Appealing Hogan here and really talked in class, practical, easy feeding and comfortable. Just as we get him back out here with the other class winners, doesn't have the shoulder elegance or power or show extras that those bring to the table. I think you can get into his remaining four class winners and pick them how you like them. I think there's a lot of good in each one of these individuals. It just comes down to personal preference for me. For me, the one I like second best is the next best looking from the side. They were the best looking in this drive. Really extended ahead of its blade. Really shapely there on the top side of her skeleton. I think this one pushed over harder till she started breaking down on us out here today. But the young man's blue group that wins the last class will be reserved. Congratulations.
Reserve champion light heavyweight is Colton Kleberger. Congratulations, our exhibitors will clear the ring. We're ready for heavyweight one. Heavyweight one, make your way to the ring. Heavyweight one, Blake Smith's 219, Casey Bauer 107, Kenzie Starner 292, Naomi Kutz 252. Four pegs in this class, 268 to 270. Heavyweight two, please come to ringside. Heavyweight two.
easy place to start with this particular gear here. Remember, this one from Shirley Shippen was wondering why she was going to fall in the weight order because she looked like a heavyweight to me. Martin, which is just love the extra look from the side, proportionality, center of body to mask that extra width and power she has there on the top side of her skeleton. Really like this one. Hip firm from the way she flexes and uses her blade and her front knee. Proportional, one that's still elegant. You know, if we're going to get ultra picky on her, she's right there on the edge of her hip and high leg. The way she uses it and hits on the edge of her skeleton. But man, let's get ultra picky on one. It's pretty good and a nice place to start this particular class. There's what get there on the far side is going to come next, as well as our main trio. This is just the best one as far as true shape there on the top side of her skeleton. She's the roundest, the truest there, long-bodied individual. To move with the gear up top, she just needs more overall substance, more overall bone and stoutness. Anyways, her Filipino bone is going to be next. Good body kind of an individual. Body and the muscle is there. This one's just a little bit too plain. It needs to be shaped up and cleaned up from an cover standpoint. And then we round out the class with the young man's blue hair, long-sided, tall, fully kind of individual. Just needs to be more hardcore to move up in this particular class.
Heavyweight 1, first place Casey Barr, second Naomi Kutz, third Kenzie Starner, and fourth Blake Smith. Next class in the ring, heavyweight 2, Bellamy Grimes 303, Joey Naylor number 2, Brandon Myers 156. 3 pigs in this class, 271 to 275.
Anyways, Bowler is another one I remember for Shirley Shippers waiting to see come back here later in the drive. Really just how big back this individual is. Tremendously big there. Across the top side of his skeleton, carries that whip into his pins and down to the surface, proportionally elevated about his head and neck and out of that front button nonetheless, and really holds it all together. He's maxed out. He is tuned in for today. There's no doubt about it. You know, the one question out of him is we're analyzing, is he just a touch too maxed out? He doesn't want to quite keep and go and flex out of his hip and high leg. Not as much as we turn ideal, but still an easy place to start this particular class. Nice spare for that young man. Now that Duke comes into the soft spot for Red Hogs. That's the special day for me back home. And I think this Duke brings a lot of good pieces to the table. Really elegant from the side. Good about that turn to the lower portion of her body. She's one that's still good ahead of her blade and comfortable and flexible out here. I think this one's probably a little bit more oriented for a breathing lane. As we really talk about them out here, we need to pull her apart through that lower 1/3 of her skeleton as compared to the belly directly in front of her. But man, this one still holds her own right and is being a really good body, really good looking one. Young ladies, right now rounds out the class for us. Easy feeder, soft-sided kind of individual, just a practical kind of a feeder market hog. This one just needs more mass, more power to compete with those ahead of her in class tonight. Congratulations, those exhibitors.
Heavyweight 2, first place Brandon Myers, second Joey Naylor, and third Bellamy Grimes. Next class in the ring, heavyweight 3. Colton Staney 229, Olivia Ryan 282, Mitchell Musser 462, Presley Whistler 300. Four pigs in this class, 278 to 280, 278 to 280. Heavyweight four to ringside.
It's both of those. Easy place to start in this particular class. He's the heaviest lifter. He's the truest about that center body. He's the most opened up to the one third of the skeleton out here. Easy practical place to start. If we're going to get picky on him, we need to kind of work on his cover here. He's probably a little bit past 12 o'clock, especially as you analyze him over his jaw and over right there over that joint. We need to pick him up on his front two ever so slightly, but still an easy place to start this particular class. Then right here in the picture, it's going to be next to appreciate the length of body, her functionality that Kent brings us. She's flexible, she's long-bodied, she's easy food. She just needs to have more overall oomph and power to move up and to beat with the hogs directly in front of her. The belted red hog on the far side is going to be 3, soft-bodied, easy doing kind of a bear. It's just, again, touch too plain. Needs to have a shot more shape and power. The sticker hog that rounds out the class. Long-bodied, flexible kind of an individual. We need to fix this one from a design and power standpoint here today. Congratulations as exhibitors.
Heavyweight 3, first place Mitchell Musser, second Olivia Rhine, third Presley Whistler, fourth Colton Stamey. Next class in the ring, heavyweight 4. Kate Gutchall 482, Tyler Best 244, Anna Lopez 101, Kenzie Starner 291, Tanner Smith 217, Colton Kleberger number 4. Six in this class, weighing 282 to 285, 282 to 285.
Start this class with the young man's chromed up gear. This one is just tremendously big backed and shaped all about the top side of her skeleton. Huge ditch right into this one. Carries that expression out through her pin set and down through with her little hand. One is just tremendously big chested and opened up about that little one-third of her skeleton. And just a ton of product that's packed into this particular gear. You know, she's probably working against herself with all that product. Being a touch more moderate from a frame standpoint. Combined with all that extra mass, she just wants to get outside of herself and uncoordinated there off her hind two the longer she's out here. But man, you just cannot deny the extra power and that's that one brings to the table. And Will's being right in front of you is going to be next. This one's a little bit more on the opposite side of the spectrum. He's a little bit bigger in his type and kind. He's better out of his blade in terms of an extension and a cleanliness standpoint. He's longer back, he's taller, funny. He's one that's probably squirrel more comfortable as he goes. But with those advantages he has today, he just doesn't have as much true width and oomph down there at the surface. He doesn't carry the shape he's got up high down to the true squirrel tracked in there on the surface. A little bit drier about his center body, but still appreciate the length, the extension, and the squareness that he brings to the table today. Young man in the blue shirt on the far side is going to be 3. This was a move through the remaining 4 hogs. This one had the advantage in terms of true volume and back shape here of the remaining ones. To move up with those that are ahead of him in class, we need to set him down in his spine. We need to fix him there behind his blade. Young man with the other speckled up red hog is going to be 4. Again, appreciate the length of top, the length of side. Got some shape, got some expression up high. This one just needs to be started at the surface, needs to be better through the center portion of his body. Young lady in front of me with the right line is going to be next. Isn't fluid and functional and flexible. Need more stoutness and power to move up higher today. And the young lady's kind of calico down ball is going to round out for us. Easy fluid and soft-sided individual. He needs to be excited and cleaned up from a condition standpoint to move up higher today. Congratulations, these exhibitors.
Heavyweight forward, first place, Taylor Best. Second, Ava Lopez. Third, Tanner Smith. Fourth, Colton Clayburner. Fifth, Kenzie Steiner. And sixth, Kate Gutchall. While we have this class in the ring, we want to present our grand champion rate of gain. Today's winner goes to Colton Clayburner, tag number 4. Sponsored by Scott A. Lehman Construction, Scott and Aaron Lehman. Colton's pig gained 2.43 pounds per day across the last 77 days. Congratulations, Colton. Let's give all of our exhibitors a round of applause. Thank you so much. Our weight classes today are sponsored by Stitt Show Pigs, Josh, Abby, Braxton, and Bristol Stitt. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much for supporting our kids. Last class in the ring, heavyweight 5, Kate Gutchall, 481. Charlie Naylor, number 1. Cooper Umbrella 372 and Delaney Smith 220. In this class, weighing 286 to 290, 286 to 290. Exhibitors up next is heavyweight champion. Heavyweight champion's up next. Exhibitors, if you are a weight division champion, please be getting your pigs ready. We're going to do heavyweight and then grand champion market hog drive. Also, if you entered pair of 2 market hogs, those will be judged in your pens. So be ready for that after our grand champion drive.
Compare and contrast here on the top side of this particular class. But we have to start with the young ladies gear. This one's just got a touch more advantage here. You can see her body and depth of side and bogus at cage. She's both proportional from the side as she step back and analyze her. She's one that's got plenty of shape there on the top side of her skeleton. And you appreciate that extra width she has from the side. You know, when you get your picky in her, she's a little bit shorter and longer than about her hip. And when you get directly behind her, she lets you push her hack ever so slightly, but still an awfully nice place to start this particular class. Young ladies predominantly black. It's going to be next. Love the extension out of her blade. Big back, round-shaped kind of individual up high. You're stepping behind her. It's amazing the man she carries there into the seat of her pants. Ultimately, where she falls second from here to him, she's just a touch dry through that center portion of her body. She's more sucked up about her front loop. She's flatter right there about her side. If we put a shot more true natural body into this one, I think she brushes the class winner even harder. But love the look, the extension, and the shape that one brings us today. Young ladies, Huffy Hall is going to be next. Really soft-sided, easy-thinking kind of individual. Needs to be peeled back from a condition standpoint. And then a black hog that ends the class for us. Flexible and long body. We need to fix him from a cover standpoint. We need to fix him from a design standpoint to move him up higher today. Congratulations to these exhibitors.
Heavyweight four, first place, Joey Naylor. Second, Cooper Umbrella. Third, Kate Getchell. And fourth, Delaney Smith. We're now ready for a heavyweight champion. Out of heavyweight one, we need Casey Blair. Heavyweight two, Brandon Myers. Heavyweight three, Mitchell Musser. Heavyweight four, Tyler Best. And heavyweight five, Joey Naylor. That's your drive. Market Hog exhibitors, we need our division champions making their way to ringside. Lightweight, Jacob Best and Addie Martin. Medium weight, Ava Lopez and Maddie Musser. Light heavyweight, Brandon Myers and Colton Kleberger. Those animals make your way to ringside for selection of Grand Champion Market Hog.
Well, good set here in our heavyweight division. Let's give all of these exhibitors a nice round of applause. Again, we'll talk our class winners here before I tell you the one I like best for division. We'll talk first about the young man's group. The wins are first class here. Sort of proportional when you sit back from the side. Tremendously big and broad about that center portion of her cage. Still elegant enough ahead of her blade. Plenty of mass there on the top side of her skeleton. And matches there at the surface as far as she tracked and her substance there at the ground. You know, we talked earlier in class, that hip and high leg maybe is just a little bit shorter, a little bit longer than her absolutely turn ideal, but she's flexible about her hind leg. She's still good about the set to her blade, or set angle to her blade, and how set back she is at her knee, and flexible and comfortable as she goes. You know, those blue ball that wins the second class, really good from the side, good looking, one that's tremendously tall forward, one that's still extended ahead of his blade, but then when you get on the top side side of this guy, he is just shock full of power. This is as big of a back individual as we've seen today. He's still got the shape to go with it. He carries that width out through his base hit and down to the surface as you analyze him. But we're being not maxed out here today. He maybe isn't as comfortable as you'd like to see how he goes. He's a little bit struggling about his belly knee and a little bit more constricted off his line too. But man, that one is just shock full of so much raw power, so much muscle. He's true to the surface on the top side of his skeleton. I mean, really got to appreciate those aspects. Now, one of the gray shirts being runs the third class. Talked about him being good to the center portion of his body. He's one that in that particular class just put us in most market fundamentals in terms of body and overall mass and power. You know, he needs to be picked up about that front one-third, picked up on his postures and cleaned up ever so slightly from a condition standpoint to move higher in this class today. It's compared to some of the other class winners out here today. Young man's cleaned up with the wins our fourth class there. Tremendously big back. Huge groove right on the top side of that one. She carries that expression out through her pins and down through the seat of her pants. Really big chesty when she comes out. She really opened up about that lower one-third of her skeleton. You know, we talked about her being a touch more moderate type and kind. And with that and all that extra power, she gets a little bit more included about how she goes a little bit too much outside of herself when you really watch her go away. I wish we could fix up the more structural aspects to go with just the raw mass and power and true width and dimension she brings to the table. And then I really always get the wins the last class. Proportional, good about the center portion of her body. Flexible as she gets out and goes out here and still extended ahead of her blade. She isn't the most massive thing out here as we compare to some of the others, but she's still plenty adequate in that standpoint. You know, we talked about her in class as you get directly in behind her, a little bit shorter and steeper down her hip. Once you're pushing those hocks ever so slightly, but appreciate the proportions to this one, appreciate the look from the side. I'll be honest with you guys, it kind of comes down to a two-horse race for me out here. I think there's two that just for how good the class winners are, set themselves apart in that turn of quality and extra ideas and brings to the table. For me, I think it just gets down to who is the more flexible individual, who brings the most good to the table, by really getting out here and able to prance and show that off. Young man who's the first class over champion heavyweight. Congratulations.
Champion heavyweight goes to Casey Barr. We'll bring in Naomi Kutz and we'll select the reserve.
We'll drop the second place out, and young ladies give it up during class, having an advantage in length aside of the remaining trio that were left after our class winner. She was the best there at the top side of her skeleton in terms of width and shape. As she gets back out here through the elite class winners, she just gets out horse out stout. Now as we get back and analyze all the class winners to find you in reserve, as I said, it's just a two-horse race out there. You can't deny just the extras, how maxed out, how ready to go today this individual is. We're making a touch more flexible. I think he pushes our champion even harder. Young man's meanwhile is going to be reserved. Congratulations.
Reserve grand champion goes to Brayden Myers. Congratulations on all of our examiners. We'll clear the ring and then we'll be ready for selection of our grand champion, Market Swine. Grand champion drive. From our lightweight division, Jacob Best. Medium weight, Anna Lopez. Light heavyweight, Brayden Myers. And heavyweight, Casey Barr. That's your drive.
get back out here and evaluate your division champions here. Let's give all of our exhibitors a nice round of applause. I think the show's been really nice, especially here at the top end. There's been plenty of quality, a good set to work through, a good set of kids from a showmanship standpoint as well. And I appreciated my time out here and enjoyed the opportunity to sort through this particular show. Now, I'm not going to be much for the dramatic here. If you listen to me talk these pigs throughout the course of the day, you know there's one that's kind of stuck out like a sore thumb in a good one from the other day. We're going out here and shake the hand of that exhibitor. Please, once again, give them a nice round of applause for all of the kids here out here today.
Grand champion market swine goes to Casey Baller. We'll bring in the reserve grand Braden Myers out of that heavyweight division. We'll drive for reserve grand.
We got that reserve heavyweight in here. He's certainly one that jumps right into contention here with our other division winners. We're in the right team in class and division that we pushed our champion really hard. Before I go out here and show you the one I like best for reserve, please give a big round of applause for all those that are involved. Helping put this show on. Without these volunteers, these people putting their time and effort, this doesn't happen. And the kids don't get to have the opportunity to be a part of such a great organization and such a great morning too. As I said today, it was a two-horse race in my opinion. There's no secret to what I like second best showman's heavyweight. Congratulations.
Reserve grand champion goes to Braden Myers out of our heavyweight. Our grand champion, reserve grand champion today is sponsored by Stitt Show Pigs, Josh Abbey, Braxton, and Bristol Stitt. Let's give all of our exhibitors, our sponsors, our help, and of course our judge, Mr. Taylor Huff, a great big round of applause. Thank you so much. We're going to do some pictures with our champions.